Good evening, everyone. Welcome to my first ever YouTube live. Thank you so much for making the time to be here today. I'm so excited to get to have this conversation with you one on one. And honestly, this is something I'd been thinking about doing for a long time, but for some reason or the other, I kept postponing it. I thought I'd start maybe a month later, or maybe I need to figure some more stuff out before I actually start having proper YouTube live conversations. But then I thought and I asked myself a question: why am I feeling so stuck in starting something so simple? At the core of my heart, I love to talk, I love to empower people, I love to help them, and I love to be there to show them that no matter what happens, they can continue to grow in their lives. And yet, for starting such a simple thing, I was feeling stuck, I was feeling lost, and honestly, I was feeling a bit afraid. And so that is why today I've chosen to take that leap of faith. I've chosen to just go live, start having these conversations, and to help you unlock that next breakthrough in your life as well. And that's why the topic for today's conversation that we're going to have for the next 10 to 15 minutes is: why do we feel so stuck in our lives? Why do we end up with this confusion of what to do or what not to do? And in that, we want to take a lot of action, but we're just not able to. If you can resonate with this struggle, if you can say that, yeah, this is exactly what I've been feeling, that I have so many ideas in my head, I have so many plans, but I'm just not able to execute on them, well, write I in the chat box. So I'll also know that you are also going through the same struggles, because today you're going to get the breakthrough for it. Not by learning something new, not by getting a new concept you were never aware of before. No, not that. Instead, we're going to dive a bit deeper into ourselves. We're going to dive a bit deeper into our minds to understand why is it that we really end up feeling stuck, and what can we change to really take that action. So while I was feeling this bit of hesitation to do my YouTube lives and to come here and talk to all of you, I started asking myself, what's really the problem? What's really the challenge? Why am I feeling so stuck? And as I listened to the words that were coming up, or rather the excuses I was making, here's what came up: there's too many things to manage. What if my internet goes away in between and then suddenly I'm cut off from the live? What if the camera or lighting is not that good? What if I try to say something, but in between I get stuck and I have no idea how to continue on it or how to keep building further away from it? And then I realized that all these thoughts that are going in my head, right? These are not even real fears. These are just fears that exist as a possibility. And all our lives, we end up making just this one mistake which keeps us stuck for a very long amount of time. We start believing in fears that are not even real. Yes, there may be a possibility, but actually, if you think about it, the chance of that fear coming true, the chance of that crazy thing that you're imagining happening is actually very low. Your risk is not that high. So you can actually take the action that you want to take. But because your mind is processing it through this lens of fear, that action itself seems much more dangerous than it actually is. Think about it this way: if there's something that you wanted to do, let's say bungee jumping, for example, it's a pretty risky activity. That's why I'm taking that example here. And you go to this review of a bungee jumping site at a place you're going to visit, and you read in the reviews that the safety ratings are around 4 out of 10. How comfortable would you be jumping off the bridge with their rope when the safety rating is only 4 out of 10? Of course, you wouldn't. You would want a 10 out of 10 rating, or even better, an 11 out of 10 rating, so you can be really sure that the jump you're going to take is going to be adventurous, but it will also be safe. The moment there's less safety, the moment there's more fear, and the moment there's possibility of losing on something, our mind creates barriers and we just cannot take action on it. Well, if you've been feeling stuck for a very long time on a particular goal of yours, this might be the reason why. your mind does not feel safe with it. Your mind is probably believing in some of these crazy patterns and some of these crazy ideas that you are holding on to. My question for you today is, what are some of these ideas? What are some of these fears? Let's address them. Let's write them down. So, if you have a pen or paper with you, good. If not, you can just listen to this live right now and do this exercise in your head. But I really want you to think about this today. Imagine that one goal you really want to achieve, but you're stuck on, and ask yourself, what am I afraid of? What can go wrong? I know you don't like to think about it, but trust me on this. Try to make that list. Try to write all those fears on a page. And the amazing thing that will happen is you'll realize the list is not unlimited. There's not way too many things that you have to deal with. It's just a couple of irrational fears. The moment I realized that about my own self while I was starting these YouTube lives, I recognized, well, actually, it's not that hard. I can deal with it. I can make it happen. And I am making it happen. While I'm speaking to you right now, I'm actually feeling that I'm just speaking to another person in front of me, that I'm talking to a friend or I'm talking to someone I really admire, and we're having a wonderful discussion on how to be our best selves. Personally, those are the kind of discussions I like as well. So, in this moment right now, all those fears that I had in the past about why YouTube Live will not work for me, how it will go wrong, all the messy things that would happen, well, guess what? None of those fears are coming true. I am feeling aligned, I am feeling sorted, and I am able to take the action. But that action happened because I acknowledged that fear first. I was like, okay, I'm going to see what goes wrong. I'm just going to see all the crazy things my mind is up to because that list is not unlimited. So, when you have that list of yours ready, here's what I want you to think of next because it's really going to help you. So, in your mind, keep making that list and now understand this new perspective. I do have all of these fears and I accept that. I acknowledge that. But is it really true that I cannot deal with them? Ask yourself this question right now. Can you actually deal with those fears or can you not deal with those fears if they came true? And you'll also recognize this truth now that actually you can deal with those fears. It's not that you're helpless, it's not that you're not able to handle those challenges in your life. Of course, you can. But the only thing is, your mind does not believe it because your mind is overthinking only all the negative scenarios in which these things have not worked out, because of which you're feeling overwhelmed to take action. And again, it makes you end up feeling stuck in life where you want to do a lot, but you're not able to do a lot. And the way to get out of that overwhelm again is very simple. You first acknowledge the fear and then take it one step at a time. So, this big thing that you want to do, that you're kind of afraid of, ask yourself this: what's the very first tiny step I can take? What's the one thing I can do? I don't have to do everything at once, but I can start off with one action, right? Well, that's exactly what helps you move forward. That's exactly what helps you take the action to be your best self in any and every way. So, I'll give you my example again, continuing from how I learned to start this YouTube live without hesitation. I was so bogged down by all these technical details that I'd have to manage. How would I set up the camera? How would I set up the lights? How would I set up everything else? In fact, just 10 minutes before going live, I was getting bogged down by the same thoughts again. I was getting worried. My own emotions were picking up. But then I took a deep breath. And then I really asked myself just one question: are you doing everything at once or are you just doing one thing at a time? And I realized again that I was trying to control way too much. And instead, I just had to take it one step at a time. And the moment I did, again, action taking became very easy for me. So when I scheduled this YouTube live, in that moment, I didn't have to think of how to set up the camera, where would the mic be, what would I be saying. No, in that moment, the only action that mattered to me was scheduling this live broadcast. Once that was done, I started thinking, what's the next step? The next step was figuring out the angles, figuring out the lighting, figuring out how to set up the mic so the audio is coming crisp and clear. And I took that step by step as well. Instead of doing all of it at once, I decided, okay, I'd be sitting here, I'd be using my work desk angle, and I'd just be communicating like I'm talking on a call or I'm talking to a friend. Then I set up the camera with my brother's help, I set up the mic, I set up a bit of lighting, and that's it. It didn't take me a long time, but now that I think about it, all the overwhelm I was going through, all the worry I was going through was completely unnecessary. Things work themselves out if you just let them, and if you stop believing in the fears that are going on in your head. So, just two simple things that I want you to understand and that I want you to take with yourself today. And that is, what are the fears that I'm going through? What are the challenges that I'm going through? And are they really as bad as I think they are? You'll recognize that the answer is no. And then, third time, when the overwhelm's picking up again, when you're again feeling stuck, when again things are not moving forward for you in your life, ask yourself this one question: am I taking things one step at a time, or am I taking things too many steps at a time? Because the truth is, anyways, you can only act on one thing at a time, right? It's not that you can do a million things at once. So, why bother yourself with all those millions of things before you've even had the chance to do the first step of it? Don't make that mistake. Instead, just focus on that one thing, focus on that one step, and watch how quickly that overwhelm and stuckness in your life, in your actions, goes away from you. And then the magic that happens is you start progressing way faster than you ever thought before. And I've seen this happen with so many of my coaching clients. When they come to me either with a career problem or a relationship problem, their biggest struggle is, I'm so confused. I have so many things to handle. I have no idea how I'll ever make any sense of it. And all I do is I sit with them and I help them analyze what's the problem, what's the fear, what are the challenge they're going through. Of course, we go into much more depth for their specific challenge, but by the end of it, right, they take a deep breath and they let out the sigh of relief that I just showed you here, because they realize I don't have to carry all that burden on my shoulders all the time. I can just take it one step at a time and actually deal with it better. And as a result of that, some people who were not getting a job for 6 months got it in 2 months. Some people who were really struggling in going on dates or getting relationships started taking effortless action towards it. And other people who are feeling very underconfident about what they want to do, what they don't want to do, well, they started getting clear because they stopped listening to the fear tape inside their heads and they started taking things one step at a time. So, as you're listening to this and as you're getting your own reflections right now, I want you to leave today with this one realization and share it in the live chat or share it in the comments if you're watching this later. What are the fears that you're letting go of, and and how are you going to take things one step at a time instead of everything at a time? Because the moment you do it, all the overwhelm, all the stuckness goes away, and you start to take action. And to prove that to you and be there with you, here's the commitment that I'm making. I'm not just going to do this live once in a while. Instead, I'm going to come live here on YouTube every single day and take that action, share a concept with you, share a new learning with you, and help you take your evolution further. And along with that, it also becomes proof for me that I can take things one step at a time and I can create massive changes. I can show up for myself, I can show up for others. And through this, imagine the wonderful results we'll create when instead of just once a week on a recorded video, we are meeting like this live every single day, Monday to Friday. We're growing together, we're learning together, and we're evolving together. I'm so excited to make this happen and to continue on this journey with you. I hope you are too. And with that, I'll see you tomorrow for the next live session where we'll be exploring another very interesting concept that's going to help you unlock your next breakthrough. And with that, thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you soon tomorrow.